couple of years down the road, you're hanging out.
Okay.
It's a uh it's a Saturday,
Mm.
you got the
Saturday.
morning off and you just kind of sit there and you stretch and you
Yeah.
think about how lucky you are to love your job.
What am I doing?
So you've kind of this is like a few years down the road. You have gone through like a bunch of different jobs that didn't quite work out for one
God
reason or the
damn.
other. You um you worked at this this it's kind of like a movie theater, but it's for dreams. People will sign up and they get paid to provide dreams for, people to watch inside. It's called the Dream Theater. And so you worked there. You actually kind of liked it. Like you
Did
like the
you
people.
listen to Dream Theater earlier today? Is that what inspired this?
I did not, but I will say that they only play like progressive rock music by virtuosos. You know what I mean? It like they play mostly just Dream Theater and things of that nature. So
Okay.
like so if you're into
Mike
like
Port.
yeah, absolutely. So and they actually have on the wall they have like a framed picture of themselves
Of the
the
band Dream
manager of the
Theater.
place. Yeah, with Dream Theater, yeah. And so if you are into like, watching surreal stuff and rocking out to, progressive technical rock music, then the Dream Theater is a place for you, man. And you actually grew to really like the music. You were never necessarily a huge, prog
Yeah,
rock type of
that's
guy, but
fine.
you've definitely dabbled in some Rush,
Yeah. Who
a little
hasn't?
bit. You you had to be a little bit careful there though, because uh so a few years down the road there has been an epidemic uh of rockaholics in the United States.
My rockaholism.
Yeah. So, and you felt like for a while there you were getting kind of close, but you backed off a little bit. But rockaholism is a real thing, and it's this thing where you just become hopelessly addicted to rock,
I'm a rock guy.
and it affects different people in different ways. No one has. There's no one story that everyone has, except for the universal rock bottom type of thing. Um, but the rockaholics, like I said, it's sort of a thing in the future. But luckily, you've been able to keep your uh, keep your rock consumption into moderate levels.
Keep my ears clean.
Yeah, you worked there for a little while, but you started having as a side effect. Like if it wasn't for this, you'd probably still be working and still be rocking there today. But you started as a side effect. You started getting like really strange dreams.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like a prog rock video or something.
kind of. So what it is you start having these like series of dreams where it's you just standing on like a beach, like at the top of the beach, and it overlooks the ocean and stuff and the
Like a
actual.
seaside cliff kind of a thing.
Yeah,
Or like on the actual beachfront in the sand.
you're on like a cliff overlooking the beach,
Okay.
and there's prog rock in the background, and there's clowns on the beach, and they don't move.
Clowns.
Yeah, they don't move. They just stand there and like look up at you. And
How many are we talking?
there's probably about there's 17 of them probably.
Holy shit.
And these are 17 large clowns. You can tell from a distance that they're clowns. So you see the clowns on the beach, and every time that you fall asleep and have this dream, they're just a little bit closer. So you're like, you know what? I don't need to see how this ends.
There's a group of encroaching clowns haunting all of my dreams.
Yeah, but they never move in the actual dream.
Yeah, but still, how
And
many
even
do I
though
have before I like recognize that they are on the move?
um I mean the second time that you have the dream, you can see that they're noticeably closer.
Oh, they're noticeably closer.
Yeah.
If it continues at this rate, how many dreams do I have before they're like at me? Well, I guess I'm up on a cliff.
Yeah, you're up on a cliff. You have some time, but you're still like, I'm just getting out of here while the getting's good. Getting
So
away from
I
these
in my
clowns.
dream, I leave this place.
No, you just quit working at the Dream Theater. And then so
Oh,
then you realize like, oh, like clear because you mentioned it to your boss, like, yeah, I keep having these weird dreams. And he's like, oh, yeah, it happens to probably
huh.
about 10% of the people who work here. They start having like kind of just weird dreams, you know?
That sucks.
Yeah.
That's a bummer that I got dreamed out of a job.
Yeah. But, you never see those clowns again.
Okay, well that's good.
Though if you close your eyes and think about it, you can
No,
still see their grins.
well I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to close my eyes and think about these encroaching clowns.
I'm not saying you do it
Give me their
often. I'm
grin.
just saying that if it ever popped into your brain, you would be able to see their grins. So you also were working at you were an operator for this new thing, uh, this new service that the city of Los Angeles is offering. 91111,
If you
aka
hit 911, it's going to go through automatically. How does it, what kind
so
of service is
the
this?
reason that it's 91111 is that they figure, all right, maybe people are freaking out when they call 911. So 9111, they're like, that's still too close. If you do four ones, you know what you're getting into. That's pretty much how they look at it. And so you're part of the you call it the 941s is what you guys call yourselves. You guys are operators answering calls that they're not emergencies necessarily, and they're not even a thing that something is illegal. It's more like something. It's someone calling you because someone is like being really annoying, basically.
Annoying. There's an emergency
Yeah,
line for annoyances.
yeah. And so
That's
you were you were
awful. What a waste of public resources.
well, this is a few years down the road. There's actually a couple different things. There's you guys, the 91111s. There's also the fashion police. They're around. There's the people who handle candy crimes. There's all kinds of like new, different crime fighting
Law enforcement.
specialties. Yeah,
Yeah, weird.
and you guys are like, we fight against the crime of annoyance.
Why wouldn't they make it like 912, or like 711 or, why make it where you have to dial 911 before? Never mind. I don't even care about the bureaucracy behind this. Oh, I mean, it seems like we would be busy because I'm annoyed all the time.
Yeah, you were very. That's kind of why you stopped working there because some of the stuff that people called and complained about, you're like, I cannot fucking believe that anyone finds this annoying. You know what I mean? So like, you just kind of got, ironically enough, annoyed yourself, and so you were like, fuck this. So you stopped working for them. So the reason that you're like so psyched to be like that, you're like, oh, I love. The reason that you love your job so much is that you are getting paid pretty handsomely
Okay.
to be a magician's assistant.
I don't want to do that shit. I
Why
don't want to be a
not?
fucking magician. Why would I, Pat?
You'd
Like
be really good at it.
most magicians are fucking insane. I don't want to get cut in half. I don't want any of the hazards of the job of being a magician or around magic.
So the reason that you got into it is that you were doing a you were doing a gig at the Comedy Magic Castle in Los Angeles, and you go up, you do your set, goes really well, and then afterward, um, there's this it's like magician who goes up, right? It's um it's this woman. She's probably in her like early 50s. Beautiful.
Okay.
And she's doing different like cool magic tricks, and then one of them, she's like, all right, now I'm going to need somebody from the crowd. And then the whole crowd started yelling, Aaron,
Why?
Aaron, because you said you made a point in your act to be like, as you're talking, you're like, yeah, I'm not even really into like magic, to be honest with you. Like, I don't even like, it kind of like freaks me out. It kind of like,
I love
weirds
magic.
me out. But yeah, but the idea of like having to do it, you're like, that like kind of
Okay.
weirds you out.
Yeah.
And so the crowd remembers that and they're like, get Aaron back out here. Come on, Aaron. And the manager's like, you heard him, Aaron, and like kind of
So
like
I'm like
pushes you
peer
up.
pressured. Okay, great. Into being like a magician's assistant. What the fuck are we doing?
So you go out there and she's like, hello, um, hello, sir. I am the wondrous Melissa.
The wondrous Melissa.
Yeah. And she's like, and you're gonna be my assistant for this next trick. And you're like, all right. And she's like, Aaron, have you ever seen the saw them in half trick?
Yeah.
You blink, and suddenly you're like inside
I'm
a
not gonna
like,
go into a fucking box, Pat. I specifically said I don't want to do the cut in half thing. And now I'm like teleported into this fucking box.
yeah, and you're kind of like, what? And like you're aware that like time is like passed somehow. And
What the fuck happened?
you look down, and you have been the boxes that you're in have been sawed completely in half.
God damn.
You see your feet sticking out, but it's like kind of, been pushed farther away from you. And you're like, holy shit. And she's like, hey, Aaron. And she walks over and like tickles the bottom of like your feet, and you kind of like react like, oh, like you actually
Do I
feel it,
not have shoes on?
No.
Wait, why are my shoes off?
They were taken off, I guess, at some point. Uh,
What
you're
the fuck?
you're
No, I've
wearing
been cut in half and I'm being tickled.
yeah, you're wearing white socks with red hearts on them,
God
and
damn it.
she tickles the bottom of your feet, and it just so happens that she touches you in like the most sensitive spot on the soles of your foot. And you kind of go like, ooh, like that, like you shiver. And like everyone's like losing it. Like everyone's like, this is awesome. Because you're having like real actual responses and they're like hilarious. People are like losing their minds watching this.
I'm cut in half.
Yeah, it's a magic trick. So she eventually stops and then she like pushes you back together and then like opens a box and you get up and you're like, of course you're fine. And you're like, holy fuck. And then everyone's like, yeah, Aaron. And everyone's like, the crowd's going crazy. And she goes, give it up for the fabulous Aaron. And you're like, oh, you like wave and blush and you walk off stage.
And no ill effects of being sawed in half.
No, none.
Insane.
So she, after the show, she's like talking to you backstage and she was like,
I love magic.
yeah. And like, that's the first thing you say to her. She walks over to you and you just go, I love magic. And she's like, so do I, Aaron. So do I. And you guys start talking and she's like, she's an old pro. She's been doing this since she was, not even a teenager. You know what I mean? She was like, she got started very early. She's kind of like a prodigy as far as stage magic goes. Uh, and she kind of is, she's very good at, talking. She's got tons of stories, you know what I mean? And you guys end up just, talking for a while. And she's
Great.
like, and she goes, Aaron, by the way, did you actually, you really did, were you acting when I was like tickling your feet, or did you actually feel it?
I don't know. Was I really cut in half? Why would I not feel it?
And she's like, huh. And she goes, Aaron, I got to be honest with you. You're showing great aptitude for the stage arts. And she offers you a job as her magician's assistant. And you leap at the fucking opportunity. Because again, you keep having these really bad jobs. They always start off pretty good, and then they just like you were hired as a like a on-field correspondent for ESPN.
Okay.
You were covering the this thing that they were doing called the No Olympics. The No Olympics are Olympic sports for people who just should not be doing them. And so you're covering it, and like everyone sucks at it. You know what I mean? There's people doing
Yeah,
pole
yeah.
vaults, and like they're just like crashing into the. Sometimes they don't even hit the bar. They just like go flying underneath it or go flying way over it. Like everybody sucks at this. The basketball game, the final score between Japan and the United States team was like 12-9. It's not a good showing
Yeah,
for
it
either
sounds
nation.
awful. Why would
Both
people
uh
watch this?
both teams go home in disgrace.
All
So
right.
so you're kind of like you thought you were going to cover like actual sports, but instead, you're doing the Olympics, and then you realize like part of the joke is that they're like making fun of you, ESPN. They're like, "Oh yeah, and this guy shouldn't be like a correspondent." You know what I mean? That's like part of the joke.
Next Sergio Dip.
What?
Sergio Dip. He's
Who's there?
famous. He's a famous guy who has like the worst play-by-play call of all time.
Really?
Yeah, Sergio Dip, Dipp. Just look it up when you're done.
Okay.
He's like, yeah, it's great.
They start calling you Sergio Dope.
Oh no,
So
come on.
you find out because you go into the employee bathroom at ESPN, and someone wrote like, Sergio Dope on it, and they wrote equals Aaron Brooks.
They do a fucking equation
Yeah.
to burn me. God damn it.
So you really like working with, Wondrous Melissa because she's she's the boss. It's her show. You're there to help, and you're definitely a part of the show. But she's in charge. You're okay with that.
Yeah, that's fine. It's
All right,
her. It's
good.
her deal. I'm the
Yeah.
assistant.
And she's showing you like she's like going through like her act. She's like, I told uh the the Staples Center. That's like her next like big performance. She's like, I told them that the act will be ready in 2 weeks. So we're gonna have some time to go over all this stuff. And so she's going over, the outline of her show. And she's like, and there's a few things that I can do now that I couldn't do before because I didn't have like an assistant. So she's like, all right, so what we're gonna do right now is we're going to do a variation on the sawing in half trick.
The what?
The
Sawing
sawing,
in half. Okay.
yeah. So she's like, all right, so here's the box here. You like climb in and stuff. Um, she you kind of like get set up. She's like, 1 second. She walks over to the refrigerator, and like you don't see what she's doing because you're like just kind of like lying there staring at the ceiling, inside a box.
Sure.
But you hear her open it, you hear like some bottles clang, and then like you hear like a sound, almost like something like
Mm.
exploding.
That sound you made didn't come through like a it's like a
Oh, like a
psh.
yeah,
Okay.
like a
Like
yeah.
opening a shaken up soda bottle or something.
Yeah, it sounds like that. It sort of
Okay.
sounds like what you imagine it would sound like if there was like suddenly a hole in space open and then it just like everything got like sucked in, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
okay. Like a vacuum. Okay, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like the sound of a hungry, eager vacuum.
Ready
So
to suck.
she walks back over and she's like, okay, cool. And she kind of like she's like, just like chill. And I'm going to be working on some stuff here. If you have questions or whatever, let me know. And so, uh, for the next like hour or so, she is experimenting with cutting different things. So at one point, she cuts your like left arm off, your right arm off. She gets them like switched, you know. She's able to do some pretty cool stuff
Wait, she reattaches them to the wrong sides of my body? So my
as like a bit, yeah.
what do you mean it's a bit, Pat? Like she's actually removing my body parts and then putting them on incorrectly.
Yeah, but like it doesn't feel bad. It doesn't feel any different than before, you know? She's just able to like do it like she's able to separate like she cuts you down like the does the thing where like cuts your legs off and like moves them and stuff and then she's like, "Yeah, it's crazy that you can feel it as that you're like as like tuned in and as sensitive to like stage magic as you are, Aaron." She's like, "That's like a really good sign." So she does that for a while and then she's like, "All right,
Just
well,
chopping me up and then rearranging my body. And I'm just ho hum sitting in a box staring at the ceiling while this beautiful 50-year-old magician rearranges my body parts.
yeah."
What the
And so
fuck? This
after a
sucks.
while, it's kind of like it goes by really quickly. It's kind of like you don't even realize what's happening. You know what I mean?
What
And
is
then
happening?
so she stops and she's like, "All right, well, let's break for lunch." You hear like her open that door, like the refrigerator door. You hear the same vacuum sound. And then like, you know, she opens up the box and you get up and she's like, all right, well, let's we'll be back in like an hour."
Yeah.
She leaves. You look over, there's like the refrigerator is like glowing from the
I'm looking
inside.
in. What the fuck is inside this refrigerator?
So
Whatever it is allowing her to cut me in half and then put me back together.
so she opens up, you know, rather you open up the refrigerator door and inside it is like completely filled with like large canisters of blood.
What? Blood?
Yeah.
Is she taking my blood? Whose blood is
No.
this?
So she comes back inside. She's like, "Oh, I forgot to grab a soda. Do you like ask her?"
Yeah, I go, well, you won't find any in there because that fridge is filled with fucking blood. What's going on?
She's like, "Aaron, yeah, I use blood magic to power my stage act. And you are tuned in to the stage art like frequency essentially. You know, that's how I'm able to do all this crazy stuff with you. I use this the blood sacrifice and then your own mystical potential inside you." And she goes, "Inside your heart, Aaron." Aw.
This fucking sucks.
She's like, "Oh, is this gonna like
Yeah, it's going to. Whatever you're thinking coming next is the answer is yes. I don't want to be a part of fucking blood magic that requires a sacrifice or any of that shit. I don't want to get
yeah,
cut in half anymore. I don't want you to tickle my feet. I don't want to wake up in like uncompromising positions. Like I'm done. Blood magic?
yeah."
You couldn't have fucking said anything to me?
She's like, "Well, to be honest with you, Aaron, people tend to be kind of judgmental."
I'm not judging you. I mean, yeah, it's in a way I'm judging you, but I'm like more upset that like you didn't tell me you were using fucking blood magic.
She's like, "Yeah, this is blood. This blood is all, you know, it's procured legally. I buy it from hospitals."
You buy blood from hospitals.
Yeah.
Would you just fucking run a credit card and say 8 bags of blood, please? There's like a blood shortage going on. Like, why are they selling you blood?
And she kind of does the thing where she like rubs her thumb and middle finger together, like indicating money. So she's like, "Yeah, Aaron, I mean, this blood isn't, it's not like I killed people to get this blood or anything like that. I got it legally on the open market, the blood market.
Blood market.
Do you stay with her and do the act?"
Fuck no. Fuck no. She's cutting me in half. She's rearranging my body.
It doesn't hurt.
You know, it doesn't matter if it doesn't hurt. You know how much like trust I would have in someone? What if something were to happen to her while I was changed? Or what if she gets like did it and then just fucking left,
Yeah.
And now I get my arms are on the wrong side of my fucking body for the first time in my life. I didn't grow up with that. I haven't adapted. It'd be miserable. Miserable. I wouldn't do it. Fuck this.
And she goes, "Not even for 7 grand."
No, fuck no. 7 grand. That's a lot of
Oh,
that's like a lot of money, but like
seven
I'm not
grand a
gonna
week.
Jesus Christ.
She's like, "Aaron, with your mystical potential and my blood sacrifice, we could be very successful together." She's like, "Look, I won't cut you up if you don't want me to cut you up. We can do something else. I'll work with you on this."
Yeah, like talk to me about it.
She's like,
You
"Yeah,
make
of
it 10, you
course."
make it 10 a week.
She smiles at you and she goes, "Absolutely."
Should ask for more.
So you kind of like get very into to working with her. She doesn't cut you up or anything like that. But when she uses, she does like blood magic or whatever, she's able to you guys are able to do is like some pretty good stuff. Like one thing that you do um is you guys actually like open a like a portal.
I mean, that's also like too far. Opening up a fucking portal, Pat.
You guys get really good. And so, you know, you have your big grand opening night at the Staples Center, and she's like, "Aaron, maybe things started off a little bit strange, but I'm glad that you stayed on. I'm glad that you were able to, you know, explain your boundaries to me, and I'm glad that we were able to make such wonderful magic together." And she goes, "Look, it's like sold out." She's like, "Everyone is here to see us. This is like a crazy feeling, right?"
Yeah,
And she's like, "All right, fabulous, Aaron. Let's do
that's my
this."
name.
Yeah.
Fabulous Aaron.
So you guys go out there, and she's like, "What's up, Staples Center? How we doing tonight?" Whole
That's
crowd's like, "Yeah."
for a magic show. We
Yeah.
get a big bro. We get a big bro. How we doing?
Yeah.
Entrance. Okay.
They play "This Is How We Do It" as you guys walk out. You're wearing like big black sunglasses. You guys take center stage, and she's like, "All right, there are, I don't even know how many thousands of people here tonight, but I'm glad you're here. I'm glad that you're able to be part of what's about to happen. Hail Satan!" And then suddenly, like a
What
portal
the
opens up,
fuck? What the
and like
fuck,
a
man?
bunch of demons come out, and they just
Great.
slaughter
Fuck
everyone
you. Are you
inside the Staples Center.
Jesus Christ?
All of the blood that, yeah, you guys were using was blood that she had like harvested from like actual people. Like she hunted them down and killed them
Oh,
and
so
took their blood.
she's live. She's
Yeah, she
live.
lied.
Is what
Yeah,
what the fuck?
think
What is so
think you can
stupid?
think you can buy blood.
Yeah, that's what I fucking thought.
So
That's what I said. The blood market?
you're the last one alive, and then
Why?
because they don't attack you right away, and then she looks at you and she goes, "Seriously, Aaron, you're really good at magic," and then they rip you apart.
Why? Fuck you. This fucking sucks. Fuck this. I didn't do any.